What up, everybody? It's me, Chris. Here to get my afterthoughts on yesterday's boxing and MMA card. First up, we had on HBO, we had Chris and Arreola against Jameel Big Time McCline. This is an alright fight, you know what I'm saying? Both fighters came in a little bit heavier than they should have. They said that Jameel McCline kind of got this call late notice, actually declined it the first time the fight was offered, saying he was retired. He kind of looked like a fighter who was on his way out. Didn't offer too much resistance. I did catch the Nightmare a couple times with some counter rights, I believe it was. Kind of stopped him in his tracks, but didn't do enough to deter Chris Arreola's, progress. Arreola looked good, ended up finishing him in the fourth with the uppercut, right combination. But, he still needs to drop some weight. I mean, I know he doesn't like doing it, doesn't like talking about it, but, he is winning. Maybe that's, his frame of mind. I'm still winning, so why should I lose the weight? But the fact is, he's not as active. His hands aren't as fast, and his punches just don't look as fluid at this higher weight. So, he'd be best for just to work a little bit harder in the gym, be a little more disciplined. It's only going to help his career. Anyways, next up we had Winky Wright versus Paul the Punisher Williams. This fight pretty much went the way I thought it would, except for it was a little bit more one-sided than I anticipated. Wright just, looked like a guy who'd been off for a while. Williams looked like his normal self, just throwing non-stop punches, all sorts of different angles, moving around the ring well. Got a lot of good instruction from his corner when he would get complacent and try to stand and trade. They'd say, continue moving. Winky doesn't really have any legs, which seemed to be the case for the most part. Winky couldn't really keep up with them when Paul Williams was moving. Also, Winky got him with a lot of clean flush shots here and there. Not a lot, but, when he did land some flush shots on Williams, it was pretty evident. And as I said in my pre-fight video, Williams isn't the hardest target to hit at times. You can hit him pretty good, but Wright didn't have the power to do any damage, and actually I think Williams might have stunned Wright on a few occasions, but, Wright hung in there. He's a tough character. But, this is pretty much easy work for the most part for Williams. He made it look pretty easy against a really good veteran opponent, you know what I'm saying? So, it'll be interesting to see where he gets from here. This fight was at 160, basically middleweight. I don't know where Williams is going to campaign next. I guess wherever an opponent pops up, but hopefully it'll be a worthy challenger. This guy's too good to be out there toiling away against, fights, meaningless fights. He needs to be in there against, top names and, opponents and, fights fans want to see. So hopefully someone will give him that opportunity, because I definitely think he'll accept any offer that comes his way. He's not looking to duck anybody, regardless of the weight class. So, maybe, I don't know if he'll get Kelly Pavlik because their managers have disagreements, but that'd be a good fight, But anyways, whatever. Anyways, moving on to the MMA side of things. Strikeforce debuted on Showtime last night. First fight of the night, Brett Rogers versus Ron Humphrey. Not much to say about this fight. Rogers wins. Both look kind of sloppy in there. Rogers finished him off with the clinch with some knees to the head. Not the biggest win. I don't know where Rogers is going to go from now. Maybe he'll get that Kimbo fight he's been wanting since last year. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I don't think it's going to be anything spectacular, but what the heck, right? Strikeforce heavyweight division isn't that deep right now, so they kind of just got to do what they can do. Next up, we had Christian Cyborg Santos against Hitami Akano. Santos weighed in way over the weight limit. The fight was, scrapped and somehow ended up getting remade. Unfortunately for Akano, she was a much smaller person going in the fight. It was obvious. She couldn't do anything. Santos was just picking her apart on the feet, on the ground. Her ground and pound was just crushing Akano. Akano was trying submissions, couldn't land anything, catch her in anything. Santos ends up putting her away in third with strikes. Not really much to say here. Looks like we're going to hopefully get Santos Carano next. They kept cutting away to Carano in the crowd, so hopefully we'll finally get that showdown and, see who's better of those two ladies. Next up, we had Scott Smith against Benji Radach. What a lot of people predicted would be the fight of the night, and it turned out to be that way. A lot of back and forth. Smith was hurt a couple times in the fight, Benji looked to have the better technique, boxing-wise, hands, whatever. And I don't know, I'd say they're about equal power, but as I said in my predictions video, I think Smith has a little bit better chin. Granted, he did get stunned on a couple occasions. Almost looked like he was out of there in the second a couple times, but he was able to, grab a leg, hold on to Radach until he was able to, get his wits back to him. After the second round, it looked like he might get stopped in the corner, like they might not let him come out, but fortunately they did. He really went after it in the third. I think he knew he needed a stoppage to get the fight, or at least a knockdown. Ended up catching Radach with a right to the temple, or around the temple area. Radach went down. Smith threw one more punch, didn't really land, but the ref stopped it. Could be argued as a premature stoppage, but I think Smith would have finished him off if the ref had not stepped in. So, good win for Smith. One of his typical fights, he's losing and just comes out of the use those famous hands of steel and puts his man down. So good stuff. Looking forward to seeing both these guys fight again, as they both always bring it. Next up we have Gilbert Melendez versus Rodrigo Dam. Was supposed to be Melendez-Thompson for the Strikeforce lightweight title. Unfortunately, Thompson got hurt in training, broke his ankle. This was for the interim lightweight title. Melendez just dominated this fight. Took Dam down once he had him down, or he put him down with punches. Just ground and pound. Dam had no answer for it. Melendez was just all over him, landing all sorts of solid shots from the top position. Ended up getting a stoppage in the, I believe it was the second round. Pretty one-sided fight. I guess Melendez will probably sit on the shelf till Thompson's ready to fight, and we'll get to see that rematch, which I'm looking forward to, especially more so after as good as Melendez looked in this fight. On to the main event, Nick Diaz against Frank Shamrock. I was wrong on this one. I thought Shamrock would win a decision. Nick is one of my favorite fighters, but I went, I'm not going to go just by who my favorite fighter is. I'm going to go who I think the matchup favors. I thought the higher weight might favor Shamrock, because Nick had never fought that high of a weight. Didn't matter. I know Frank's been coming off some injuries. I don't know what it was. He said he trained well for the fight, but he was never in this fight, man. Like, Nick picked him apart with punches, was taunting him throughout the fight, Frank landed a couple punches here and there, just a few, but they had no effect on Nick whatsoever. Nick was able to use his reach, his distance, just peppered away, picked him apart, Frank apart. That's usually Nick's MO, but did it to much more effect at this weight against Frank. He really busted his face up in the second. Frank just couldn't get anything going the whole fight. Just never could get anything going. Had no answers. Nick even took him down. Got, good positions on him a couple times on the ground, which I didn't think he'd be able to do. But I don't know. Frank just never was in this fight for one reason or another. I don't know if it's age, injuries catching it up to him, or Nick just being the better fighter at this point. But Nick gets the win. Stopped him in the second round. Was pretty much hurt him on the feet. Frank was up against the cage. Nick landed some good shots. Went to the body. The body was wide open. Went there with the right. Frank fell to the ground. Nick dropped a few more punches on him, and the ref had to step in. Good stoppage. Frank was done. No point in the fight going on. Nick looked really good. Frank said he's going to continue fighting. I don't know who he's going to fight next, but he's I don't know. Hopefully not as high as the level opponent as Nick. Otherwise, I don't know if he's going to win or not. As for Nick, heard him saying things about Kung Lee after the fight. I don't know if he's quite ready for that fight. I don't think Nick's. I don't know. I think he's better served at welterweight than middleweight myself, but that's just my opinion. I mean, I thought he was going to lose this fight, so what do I know, right? But either way, I'd like to see him fight the winner of Riggs Baroni, which is coming up in a couple months. We still got bad blood with Riggs over there fight a long time ago. If Baroni won, that'd be an interesting match itself. A couple of guys who can make it for good promotion. Talk the talk and get in there and really throw down. Make for an exciting fight. So, whatever it is, I'm looking forward to seeing Nick's next fight because, I'm a fan of his and he always brings the excitement both before and during the fight. So, that's pretty much it for now, guys. I'm out of here. Till next time. Bye.